My mom didn't want to leave. She was quote unquote damn near forced to leave. She was not wrong at all. She did not leave him because he lost his foot. That's a myth that was put out there.
Which will be proving my point on how it's none of the child's business.
No, it's my business, it's your business, it's everybody's business.
No, it's not.
So that's not holding males accountable. If
you don't hold a man accountable. You're a woman.
You don't hold a man accountable. That's
not your place. So, you have to be led. You don't lead. You don't lead. You are to be led. Yeah, land. Modern woman. You don't hold a man accountable for anything. You are not his equal. You are a woman. Huh.
You know, with my wife, you know, who Tina decided to go her own way. That's why you don't see her right here. But she want to go do something else, that's fine with me. We had our run. So even though she had the stroke and getting older, she would never be like, oh man, she was always beautiful in my eyes until you say, I want to go do something else.
Yeah.
Now you're not as beautiful to me again. And the fact that if you decide to go this way, I'm going to go that way, that's fine.
That's deep.
It is what it is, man. And like I said, anytime you can find somebody you can stay in love with for a long time, or for one day or whatever, if you can witness that love, that's good. I had that with her. And I found somebody else. But it is what it is.
I love both my parents, but the situation that is put before y'all is not how it went down. I'm not about to get into all the details. But long story short, my mom didn't want to leave. She was quote unquote damn near forced to leave. I helped her leave. I'm glad she left. She's in a great spot. Shout out to Dip. Put her up nice. So she's good. My pops is good. They obviously don't fuck with each other. But I fuck with them both. And she was not wrong at all. She did not leave him because he lost his foot. That's a myth that was put out there. What else have I seen? I don't know. But my dad did a great job raising us. My mom did a great job raising us. They didn't work out. And it is what it is, man. They both doing well, and I love them both.
What do you guys think about it? The son coming up speaking up for the mother?
I think he's shouldn't have said anything. That's what I think. I don't think it's his place to say anything. I think it was inappropriate.
It was inappropriate for him to speak up? Why?
Because it's none of your business what the parents are going through in the first place. So you shouldn't even be exposed to whatever's going on. And if you say anything, it should be that you're not going to say anything in regards to your parents. You're going to respect them both by not saying anything.
Okay.
I disagree. I think that he did right. I don't think he went into detail, but I do think that he spoke up in behalf on what he thought was right. And there was a narrative out there that just wasn't true, and it probably got to his conscience. And he didn't demonize his father necessarily, but he said he let us know that I disagree with that. He let us know that his mom wasn't wrong, and it is what it is, you know?
He said he had to help her move, which would indicate some sort of issue between the parents. Because why would you need to help your mother move? Like you're insinuating, like I needed to get her out of that situation, like there's some sort of danger or problem.
Yeah. No, you're insinuating. He's not insinuating. You are.
No, his delivery and the way he chose to say what he said insinuated that.
No,
which is why the women and a few of those men, I guess you could say, said what they said in defense of her and what she had to do regarding the big black bad man.
Yeah, so you're insinuating, right? He's giving his account of the situation without giving us detail. If he say I had to help my mom move, guess what? It's just simply a fact. He had to help his mom move. We can be upset about it, but it's a fact.
How is she married and he needs to help her move, even if they are separating?
That's a good question. I don't think
30 years of marriage.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I don't think either of us have the answer to that right now, but it is a great question.
I can piggyback off of that. If they are getting a divorce, then the marriage is irrelevant. So the situation is they are in a process of divorce. So therefore, he would not still be doing husbandly duties. Clearly, it would be that they are at odds, and therefore somebody else, the kids or whoever else cares for her, are stepping in. But I do agree that that would be implying and assuming that there's more going on just by a fact that somebody helped somebody move.
I mean, I can help my mom move right now. What does that imply to you?
As I said, his delivery and the way he chose to go about it, he spoke up for his mother first of all. He added his father in there later. Maybe
Mhm.
because he realized he was speaking publicly or, thought about he may be painting a narrative based off the way that he was speaking. But we're
Yeah,
not we're not going to act like his statement isn't saying something and it's in the mother's favor.
yeah. So what if in reality, right, his father did unforgivable things to his mom, right?
Or are we assuming now?
No. I asked the question.
I'm
I
I'm
said
just
what?
saying it was a
Yeah,
problem
yeah.
when I had my
So
analogy, but you're
no.
assuming that.
Yeah, but I made it clear that I asked the question. What if this happened, right? You insinuated, and I mentioned that you insinuated. But yeah, what if his father did unforgivable things? How would you feel? Do you think that he still took a step too far, even though he chose not to give details? He chose to respect their privacy for the most part, but he did say pretty much my mom she had to go.
What I'm going to say is that I'm not an advocate at all for domestic violence in any type of way. Um, I still feel that whatever happened is still none of his business as the child.
What if he was involved in it, right? So for example, right?
So you're
I,
doing this thing where you're asking me a series of
yeah,
questions to try to, like, no, I stand where I stand.
yeah, but just allow me to ask the question first. Um, if he's literally involved in it because he had to stop what he was doing, leave his woman, and come help his mother, who is covered. She has a husband, she has a man. But I gotta get up from what I'm doing, fly to where you at, and help you move, and you saying it's not my business,
Oh, I
and you
love the
making me
fact
up.
that you're saying he's not even in the same household as them.
I'm not
That
sure. I
that
was just,
makes it more of a reason why it's none of his business. He doesn't even live there.
but do you think I made a fair point that if I had to concern myself with another man's woman, who is my mom technically, but that's his woman. That's his business. And I gotta come and help her move. Is it now my business?
It certainly is his business. Those are his parents. It's his business. So we can't, or typically most people don't disassociate themselves from their parents, their loved ones. When they go through things, it's also a part of them. They're popular, they're in social media, their names are the ones that are mainly mentioned. So this is surrounding them, certainly is their business.
This is a female trait. Men don't move this way. Men don't inform their children of every little detail and go calling their child. They don't handle things this way.
What what's the relevancy of that point?
That's what women do. Women are the only ones that have a hard time keeping a hero the hero. A woman's gonna tell her child all the in and outs of why she's wrong, why the dad did this, and why she feels because she needs that child to be on her side. We see it happen too many times when these women are getting left by dad or they're leaving the dad. They put the child in the middle, he becomes a weapon. It would be unfair to say that's what happened here, but we can't. Let's not pretend like we don't know that to happen. And I'm saying a lot of y'all you probably have either seen it happen yourself or done it yourself. So the reason why it's not his business is because again, it's not his marriage. Those are his parents, and you can't respect. Well, you can't respect both of them. He picked the side. He picked his mother's side. Exactly what he said made it seem as if it took some weight off his mom and then reallocated that weight to the father. If you are a child, you need to stay neutral and stay out of that shit. And that's not what he did.
Willie, when somebody's this might be bad, right? But when somebody's child goes missing, like they teenager, and I gotta go online and I gotta put up a poster and say, "Yo, this girl's missing. Come, help us out, help us." And then that girl comes back home the next day. That's my business. Where was she at?
You're
Where was she
comparing
at?
apples. You're comparing apples and not
Cause you
apples.
involved me now.
It doesn't move the conversation for me to even answer that question. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. A child getting kidnapped and a woman leaving a 30-year-old marriage, not even in the same solar system.
All right, I dig it.
Um, I do agree in some aspects that children should stay out of parental drama. in this case, I think it is harder for people to have those boundaries when the entire internet, including I think this panel, has talked about the situation over and over and over again. And parents do a piss poor job of keeping children out of their business, right? Having known a number of people whose parents went through messy divorces, I do disagree that, they put their kids in the middle all the time. And I've seen it from both the mother and the father, unfortunately. And in this case, I do think it appears as if the mother, inserted, her son to come either rescue her or to help her. In this instance, I think he could have left out even those details and just said, listen, the assumptions are incorrect about what happened in the situation, but if the father, I haven't really been following, if the father did insinuate that, the mother did XYZ, and that was a lie, I don't blame him for correcting that and saying that was a lie. My mother left because she left. That's private family business, and I'd rather not anybody talk about it, even though I do know we're a public family. They put themselves in the public eye with a TV show, was it, or a series or something like that. And we all see what's happened when you open up your private life to the public. It gets publicly judged, and people then feel the need to publicly respond, which I think is a mistake on a lot of people's parts.
Yeah, I just was going to say it's interesting. We're saying that it's no one's business, but the traits that were mentioned, which are irrelevant, like a female trait versus a male trait, really is irrelevant to this, right? But nonetheless, the dad is the one who put the information out there. So at some point, when someone says, "Here is my business world for you all to see," then that is that messy female trait that the dad displayed. He put it out there. So you can't put your business out to the world and say, "Here, world, this is what's going on," and then say, "Everybody, it's none of your business," or especially kids who are, and these aren't kids, let's be clear, these are adults. So you can't say little, it's not like we're protecting little children. It's adults that this dad, Messy, put the information out to. Now he's getting a response, and this is surrounding the I guess they're ball players. I'm sorry, but it's surrounding very popular kids. So of course they have something to say about it. I land there.
Can I add on top of that real quick? That's a very important point. Chatty Patty put this all on the internet. Shorty didn't speak on this divorce. We didn't know they was getting a divorce till Chatty Patty did it, right? So the dad went and streamed with Neon with Neon. This is crazy.
So him telling that they separated and got divorced, that makes him the Chatty.
No, he said a few things. He said he gave us a little bit.
What else did he say?
He said I used to think my wife was pretty because I was with her, but it's like now when you're not with her, well, she, now it's just different. Insinuating that he no longer thinks she's beautiful, right? That's one of the things that I remember. But he probably said more things. I'm not sure, but I remember that part.
Oh, I mean, so it's interesting that the pro mom side or the pro conjecture.
I'm not pro mom, by the way. I'm just scared.
The pro conjecture, pro speculation for the mom side only remembers the negative things he says, but then also doesn't remember the context in which he said them. So that's the point here. And he looked at every video we saw every week. So if you look at those people's platforms, we got a dude that's a stay-at-home dad that is also just not the most masculine man, that also paints his fingernails talking about this guy's dad. Then we got a bunch of other single women whose children don't have fathers, from the two that I'm aware of specifically, whose children don't have fathers, that are finally using this because now they feel like, oh yes, this is the chance for me to get my shit off on the men that fucked me and left me too. So it's not like these people don't have any personal skin in the game, but for us up here on the panel, I just think it's irresponsible to speculate and put all these extra things off when, again, when we spoke about this the first time, there's one person on the panel who was familiar with all 4 seasons of their TV show. And that person said that he didn't see any of this stuff, but he is familiar with, some of the behind the scenes things as well. And everything that you guys were saying, well, maybe he did this, or what if he did that? It's just maybes and what ifs. None of that stuff is factual, but your opinions can be based off of those things.
The interesting part is that people did mention on the last show that they saw the show and that was enough for them to give us character witness of LaVar Ball. However, his son is his son, and he just gave us his account, and we're like, nope, conjecture. Oh, No, I can't believe
He
him,
didn't give
right?
us an account of anything. He said that the narrative you guys have been given, and mind you, on that same show, nobody said they watched the show other than one person. Nobody did. They said they had seen clips. Not one person had watched one episode, but the person who spoke up for him. Two, he didn't give his opinion. He gave what he did. Like he just gave his involvement in it and gave his take on it. And he's got the most firsthand information of us all. But even from that video where he put it out, the women were still going over there adding their own 2 cents and they sauce to it, as if he said the shit that they were saying, or what he said proved the shit that they were saying. That's just not true.
Got you. He definitely. What he did say was his mom's not wrong. She was damn near forced out, and also he had to help her move. Which what does that let us know? It lets us know that the man who is responsible for his mother, right, who is responsible, which is her husband, had another man have to help her leave the house, right? You're responsible for that woman up until you're actually, whatever. You're responsible, even till this day. That was your wife. You're responsible for her. You got to make sure she's still taken care of, right? To a degree. So,
which will be proving my point on how it's none of the child's business.
No, it's my business. It's your business. It's everybody's business.
No, it's not. If you just said she's the responsibility of the husband, that means it's none of his business. It also means he shouldn't be saying anything. And also, I find it interesting that you guys are calling him sassy or whatever, but then we're going to say the male and female gender roles don't matter when it came to me saying something. And we're not talking about what the dad said. The point was what the son said and how he shouldn't be speaking about it at all because he's not the husband or the wife. How are we saying that a husband cannot speak freely?
And
who are you to tell him he cannot speak?
You also didn't disagree when T. Tropez said that the marriage doesn't matter anymore because they're not together. Because you co-signed what she said, but then you just said you don't agree with it. So which one is it?
With the sassiness.
And no, I'm asking Mont that question, not you, man. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And it said it was Chatty Patty, which I guess is the sassy part.
Yeah, I never called him sassy.
No, nobody did. But I'm just saying what she's talking about. But when T. Tropez said that the marriage doesn't matter anymore, and then you said, yeah, I agree, but let me add to that. You just now contradicted yourself. So does the marriage matter?
I didn't say I agree.
You did.
I didn't say I agree. Let me add to that. Hold on.
Like you literally said I agree.
Let me
add to that.
Okay, well, if I said I agree, let me add to that. I just want to give context. I don't remember her saying that, but the part where she I spoke on the part that I agree with pretty much, and I expounded on it. Yeah.
Regarding the gender roles, from the beginning, when the point was made, like this is a female trait, I asked what was the relevance of it because I have no interest in gender roles. So when there was a jab, so to speak, or the introductory of a gender role, then I addressed it. So my whole counterpoint was if you want to bring gender behavior in here and say this is a female trait, then my counterpoint to that was, well, what do you call a trait when a male, this male goes to the internet and he starts chatting about their business? So
I would say that it's not for women to say anything about what a man does. Only men can say something about what men are doing and hold them accountable. That's what I would say. I think women have too much to say.
So that's not holding males accountable.
If you don't hold a man accountable, you're a woman.
You don't hold a man accountable.
That's not your place. So, you are to be led. You don't lead.
I'm not
you don't lead. You are to be led.
I don't want to talk against you. I want us to have a conversation.
Oh, I thought we were having a back and forth.
With you interjecting and talking over top of me, and I want to respect you. So just to be very clear,
I'm not disrespecting you by interjecting.
I just let you know that was disrespectful. So you don't hold accountability for
that's subject to interpretation, like you said. My opinion is right.
It is my specific. You are directing this at me, and I'm telling you. So if you don't choose to accept that, that's on you. But that's nonetheless. Here's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
If you feel that you are the type of woman that is inferior and therefore you cannot hold a man accountable.
That not what I said.
That is you. That is not me. I hold everybody accountable.
I know my place. I know my place.
I'm going to continue.
I know my place. Those little negative undertones are not going to work over here.
Sit in your place
and you are a woman, so I don't have to yield to you unless a man or the host wants me to stop speaking when you're speaking. because now
That
you're trying
role,
to be
any
funny.
person that
So I
needs
don't
to
need
be
to let
held
you get it out. You're
accountable,
not
no
going to
matter
do that
what
little
their
undertone,
gender
negative
is,
talking
they
points
will
at
be
me.
held accountable. If you are a weak
I don't
woman
care.
who
You as
feels
a
that
woman
you are
don't hold
inferior
anything
to people and
accountable.
therefore you
That's the
can't hold them
problem.
accountable, that is on you. I
Modern
land there.
woman.
That's it.
Yeah, land. Modern woman. You don't hold a man accountable for anything. You are not his equal. You are a woman.
If I could